So hello everybody, and welcome back to another new vlog. I've come to an area of Sutton Park today once again, and this is just behind me is Bracebridge Pool. I've been here a couple of times to do various different vlogs in the past, and I wanted to come back here again today on my way to another area that I'd like to get to, because I'd like to talk to you about pre-visualisation, and whilst I'm here I'd also probably like to shoot a time-lapse video using the Canon EOS RP that I'm currently shooting with. I've got a little way to walk yet before I get to where I want to be. I'd like to be at Little Bracebridge, which is another pool at the back end of Bracebridge Pool, and it's kind of just separated slightly from Bracebridge, and it's much smaller. And the idea of going there is that first of all it'll be quite quiet because there's not usually very many people around there, and secondly it's a good place to capture the image that I'd like to tell you about, which is all to do with pre-visualisation. Now, the way pre-visualisation works is you have an idea in your head before you take an image of what you want to shoot, and then perhaps that idea stays in your head for a while, and eventually you'll get to a point where you believe you can take that image. And today is going to be one of those days. I've pre-visualised an image of reeds at the edge of a pool, and I'd kind of like to try and capture that today. But to do that, I know that I need to be at Little Bracebridge Pool to see if I can at least have a go at trying that out. So as you can see, I've arrived at Little Bracebridge Pool, which is this behind me, and obviously you can tell it's much smaller than Bracebridge itself. And I was talking about pre-visualisation earlier. One of the shots that I've pre-visualised is kind of just a clump of bulrushes, something a little bit like this, in a pond where the water is very still and calm, just like we have here. And the idea was to crop in nice and close on something like that and just capture an image of a minimalist image of those bulrushes. This is the perfect spot because, as you can see, apart from this clump here, there are several other clumps dotted around, and all around the edge of the pond itself there are further sets of bulrushes, and I want to just see if I can capture a few shots here and see which one of those is going to be my favourite, using 70 to 300mm lens and zooming right in so I get a nice tight crop on the bulrushes. There is one slight concern I've got here though. Take a look at those clouds above me. I've just walked here through quite thick, dense woodland, so I've been alright on the journey here, but I'm now kind of standing right out in the open, where I know for a fact that if these things decide to drop out, I'm going to get absolutely soaked. So I might have to be quick here, but also whilst I'm here I'd like to try and capture a time lapse using this camera. The benefit of using this particular camera, one of the benefits that I mentioned in my previous vlog, is this camera has a timer on the live view screen, so I can see just how much recording time I've got left on the battery, which is going to be quite useful for a time-lapse video. So I'm going to get on and take a few shots here, and then I'll take a time-lapse. So I've taken several shots now with the 70 to 300mm lens. What I was finding was that I was tending to shoot at the 70mm end, a bit closer to that. There's one or two at 100mm, but actually it was much better to shoot at 70mm than it was to shoot at 300mm. There is one shot of a tree on the far side of this pond. I think you can just about see the tree there, which I've taken obviously at 300mm, and just as I swing around here there's another slightly smaller tree that I think I've taken at about 180mm. But other than that, the shots I was taking here tended to be at around about 70 to 100mm. I haven't decided yet whether I want to be this side of the pond here or the other side of the pond, just over here somewhere. There's a bench on the far side of the pond, just about here, and I think I'd quite like to go and have a look and see what the shot looks like from there before I decide on where to take my time-lapse video from. So this is going to be a bit of a quick recce before I do anything. Well, there's nothing really doing over at the far side of that pond. I did have a quick look to see if there was anything worth shooting at all, but there really isn't over there. But I came back over here because on the way around there I discovered something quite interesting. As I walked around here, just behind me, you'll see there are a load of reeds just at the edge of the pond, and then just at the very edge of those reeds we've got some what look like water lilies, just right on the very edge of those, and they're kind of jutting out into the water just here. And as I look at the shot, they kind of come out from the left hand side in towards the middle of the shot, and then on the far side I've got that tree that I photographed earlier, and that all fits into the frame quite nicely. But what I've also found is that just in this little section of water, literally just at the corner of these reeds and water lilies, what I find is there's a little bit of rippling in the water, which is creating some kind of interesting light on it. So I'm going to try and capture a time lapse of that. So I think I'm going to go for possibly 2 minutes of time lapse, and what I'll do is I'll shoot a shot every 3 seconds, and then I'll have something like 40 shots ready to be edited into a short video. So I'll get that sorted now. I'm going to set up the tripod and do that, but I am aware of keeping an eye on the recording timer so I can see just how much time I've got left. Well, that was quite interesting. Check out the blue skies behind me now. Obviously it's been raining a little bit and a little bit sunny and all kinds of things while I was taking that time-lapse video. I found out something very interesting though. The camera actually switches itself off after each individual shot during that time lapse, and then switches itself back on to take the next shot. So it's not really using up as much battery power as I thought it would be, which means I've probably got a little bit more time left to record a little bit more video, which is good. So I'm going to head back now to Bracebridge Pool where I was earlier, and see if I can get a better shot there, a better time-lapse video there than the one I've already got. If not, I've got one in the bag anyway, so we'll have a go and see what we can get over there. So I found myself a spot under the shade of a tree. I'm back at Bracebridge Pool, and I'm under this tree because firstly it will reduce the glare of the sun that we've got at the moment, but also it's just the right framing for the shot that I want to take out in front of me onto the pond. So I've set that up perfectly. The tripod set up, all I've got to do now is just set the camera up and take the time-lapse video that I wanted to take here. I think I'm going to try and take it a little bit longer as well, just to capture more of the scene for a few more seconds. So I'm going to set up here and have a go at this one now. Okay, so that's 2 time-lapse videos shot now. I've had a quick look at both of them on the back of the camera, and they both seem okay. I think the second one's slightly better than the first one, but obviously they'll need a little bit of editing, so by the time you get to see them they should be perfect. I'm quite impressed with this camera and the fact that I am able to capture time-lapse with this, because it kind of gives me a completely different option when shooting video as well. So that's quite interesting. For now though, I'm going to call it a day here, and I hope you've enjoyed this video and watching me talk about time-lapse video and shoot some time-lapse video. I'll talk more about pre-visualization in future vlogs, because that's something that I think is really quite interesting and something that I think we all should be doing as photographers. So if you've enjoyed this video, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.